Hello everyone, hope you are having an amazing Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday, a transformational Tuesday. I'm Kelly Frick of Kelly Frick Connect, and I am in my backyard again at my wonderful grounding desk that my husband made for me. It is super awesome. I love it. I get to stand, I get to share with all of y'all, and I get to ground. Oh my goodness, I get to enjoy the earth while I am just sharing and loving and just having so much fun. So today I want to take a moment and talk about grief, because I think that a lot of what many of us are experiencing is grief, and we may not realize that that is what we are experiencing. All right, grief is another emotion, right? Like many, and not all of us are experiencing it right now, but there is a lot of us who are experiencing grief. So I shared earlier this last week about the relationship of grief and anxiety, right, in an article, and we all understand the anxiety that is going on, right? We understand the anxiety of it, but do we understand the grief that is going on? Hey Darcy, it's so great to see you. So glad you're able to be here and to join. So what I want to be able to share first is to understand that grief comes in multiple different ways. It's not just about loss, right? But I'm going to share how grief is something that I'm really familiar with, especially on this particular day. Okay, so many moons ago, I went in for a 12-week appointment checkup to realize that my baby did not have a heartbeat, and today is the anniversary of that day. All right, so that's the type of story that we are familiar with. All right, that is typically what we associate with grief, is a loss, an actual death, right? And that's a valid grief, but any loss can be grieving. It needs to be able to have the respect of grieving. All right, so I want you to think about, in this moment, of what all is going on in our world. We have seniors, high school seniors, who aren't going to be able to experience what they thought was going to be a typical senior year, right? Things like prom, things like, even how graduation might end up playing out for them, right? All of these different things. Many people need to be able to grieve the loss of a job, even. The grieving of the loss of our freedoms that we've taken for granted. Grief for many of us who have lost a loved one during this, or just the knowledge of how many lives have been impacted by coronavirus. All right, so grieving is something that we need to just really sit in and understand that it is connected to our anxiety as well, because we know it's in our mind and it's causing the anxiety. All right, that is how it is connected. And on an energetic level, understand that grief is the lowest frequency that our body of emotion that we can possibly experience. And if we don't move it through our system, it can create havoc on our system, on our physical system. So anger, ironically, is actually better for our system because there's passion behind anger. All right, and so it doesn't lower our frequency. Now, anger is an emotion that still needs to be moved through, but I want you to think about, when you're angry, what happens? You get ramped up, right? Your system starts running faster. But when we have grief or sadness or sorrow, that deepness, it slows our system down, and it squashes our energy. All right, so today what we're going to do what I want us to do is I want us to be able to help move grief through our system. So when grief starts to create this shutdown, we don't allow it to fully flow through, right? Our body, our mind, our heart, our soul, our spirit, all of that, right? So we want to be able to move it through. So we're going to do a tapping session on grief. Now, what's super cool is tapping is a tool for us to be able to, you can do it anywhere, right here, right now, whether you're in your car, whether you're in your house. I like tapping outside if it's at all possible, especially when we're dealing with major emotions like this. So I'm grounding, all right? I am on the ground. I'm gonna back up so you can see me barefoot, all right? So I'm barefoot on the ground, all right? And I'm gonna explain the reasons for that. I'm also using a tool of aromatherapy. I'm specifically going to use an oil console because we want to move the grief through. And I'm going to use citrus bliss to be able to bring out the positive, all right? So I'm going to use that. I'm going to palm diffuse. But let's say you have a tea. So any herbs, any spices, anything aroma that's going to help you move the emotion through, and then also help bring an uplift to the emotion. All right, so here I'm using 3 tools, but the main tool I'm using is tapping, right? To really take the grief. And again, with tapping, what you're doing is you're acknowledging the emotion that's already there. You know, so many people, we want to believe that that by addressing the negative emotion that you're sitting in the negative. No, you're actually wanting to move it through. So it's okay to address it. And that's the beautiful thing about tapping is you address it so it can move through your system. By me grounding while I'm tapping, the earth, it allows me to get rooted to the earth, to my Heavenly Father, and it then the land, the earth, is able to absorb all that negative emotion so it doesn't continue to try to stir in me, right? So that's super cool too. That's another really cool benefit of grounding while you're tapping. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some deep breaths, all right? And if you've never tapped before, you can just follow along. There is the setup statement spot on the karate chop, then there's each of the spots. It'll be super easy just to follow along, to rewatch the replay, silly me, right? To watch the replay so that you can catch it and all that stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the setup statement for us, and then I'm going to do 2 rounds. You can repeat after me out loud, you can repeat after me in your head, or you can just follow along. And then I'm going to do some visualization for you as well with a couple of rounds where you don't say anything, where you just, listen to the words that I'm saying and how I can help walk you through grief, all right? So again, we took some deep breaths, and now I want you to be able to really close your eyes. I want you to picture what aspect of grief you're feeling and you're experiencing. All right? Just really sit with that. Close your eyes if you need to. Really create a picture, bring it from the subconscious into the conscious, and give it a rating between 0 and 10. 10 meaning your grief is so overwhelming, you are having a difficult time just getting about your day, and 0 meaning it's not even affecting you. All right, now we're going to do our setup statement. So we address the negative, and we give our affirmation for that we're okay, right? So even though I feel this grief, I love and accept myself. Even though this grief is overwhelming me, I love and accept myself. even though this grief has created anxiety, I love and accept myself. At the eyebrow, this grief, it is clutching at my heart. Side of the eye, this grief, it's overwhelming me. Under the eye, this grief, it feels so heavy. Under the nose, this grief is paralyzing me. On the chin, this grief is consuming me. On the collarbone, this grief, it is so heavy. Under the arm, at the bra strap, this grief, it feels heavy, so heavy. On the top of the head, this grief, I want it to lift and go. The eyebrow again, this grief causes so much pain. Side of the eye, this grief is full of fear. Under the eye, this grief is full of pain. Under the nose, this grief, it needs to move through me. On the chin, this grief, please help it flow. On the collarbone, this grief, I don't want it to hold me down. Under the arm, this grief, please, Lord, lift it from me. On the top of the head, this grief, I want it to flow. Now, the next couple of rounds, I want you to just visualize as I talk. Between the eyebrows. When you close your eyes and you think about the grief that you're experiencing, is it related? Is it connected to another grief from your past? A fear of the future? Inside of the eye. Is it related to a sorrow of you have a loved one who should be able to be participating in something right now and they're not being able to, and it just burdens you? Under the eye, you have loved ones on one of the coasts, East Coast or West Coast, or you're right in the middle of the thick of it all, and you're seeing everybody in so much fear and so much anxiety, and it's just overwhelming you. It's like a loss. Under the nose, and it is a loss. It's a loss of the world as we've known it, not to be cliche-ish, but to know that things have changed. On the chin, and change can feel so overwhelming sometimes. On the collarbone, but with change, beautiful light can take place. Hope and healing can take place, and does take place under the arm. So as you visualize, as you're closing your eyes and you know you're needing to live in the moment, be in the moment, but see the hope that is all around you. Top of the head, that this grief is okay. It's natural. It's normal. It means you're human. It means you're alive. And the eyebrow, And it's okay to feel alive. It's okay to feel hope, to feel happy, the side of the eye. Because as you move this grief through your body, out of your body, into the earth, under the eye, you're able to feel the lightness and the hope in your body, in your energy, in your system, under your nose. And your immune system is revving at a much better vibration on the chin. It's being boosted, it's being lifted, and things are now able to feel so much better on the collarbone. Fear has left your system, left your body, under the arm. The anxiety has left. The fear, the anxiety, the overwhelm, all of it that's related to the sorrow, that's related to all of it. On the top of the head, feel it all melt away. Allowing you to be able to go about the rest of this day with so much more peace, so much more hope, and much less grief. All right, deep breath. In, out. Deep breath. And out. All right, I want you to rate yourself again. 0 to 10. And where had you rated yourself before this started, before we started tapping? And where is your number now? And you can go back and redo this tapping session, or check out some of the tapping sessions on tappingsolutions.com through their app, and be able to do another type of round on grief, or fear, or pain, or anything. But help your body, especially right now. If you're feeling any grief, if you're feeling any type of lethargicness, of wanting to just slow down, hide, hole up, things like that, don't allow yourself to sit in that for too long. Acknowledge it, recognize it, and help it move through your system so that your immune system can get an amazing boost. And do tapping as many times as you need to. All right, you guys have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day, and I look forward to sharing with you more soon. All right, take care and God bless.